Hey guys, it's Chala from Crafting Through the Chaos of Life. Thanks so much for joining me for another video. I hope you're all doing well and finding yourself in your happy craft space. Today I thought I would pop on and show you how to make this cute little folio. Yeah, it just opens up and we have a few little tuck spots in here. A little pocket here that just has some piece of paper for some journaling. And then I have some journal cards in these pockets. So this is a really, oh, come on out. This is a really super easy little folio to make, and you can do it with single-sided papers or double-sided papers. So let's get started. So the first thing you're going to need is a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. And I want to use this one here. I have been hoarding some Tim Holtz 12 by 12 and I need to make some ephemera for my upcoming journals. So let's go ahead and use this one. It is double-sided, but it doesn't have to be. This one was actually single-sided recollections papers, and I just put the blank sides together. And yeah, it just kind of created and did some inking here, so you can't really tell that that's white paper. So let's get started with some measurements here. Okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is take a look at your image, and I'm just looking at, it's going to end up going this way. So this will actually work out quite perfect in terms of having this butterfly on the front. So let's get the paper trimmer. And we're going to start cutting this in half at 6 inches. And line that up somewhat straight. Oh, that's going to cut off some of my butterfly. So I'm actually going to do it a little bit bigger, just so I can have this whole thing. But is that going to work now? It would make my pocket smaller. Well, let's see what we can do here. If I cut that off, is that going to look funny? If I do 6 inches this way, let's do it. It's just a butterfly. It's not the end of the world. Okay. All right, so we've got these two cut 6 by 6. And the next thing we want to do is some scoring. So we need to decide how I want my front. I want this to be the front. And then this we can have on the inside like this, or we can have it like this. And I think I want it like this. Okay, so let's start with our front piece. There's our front piece. We want to score. We have our scoring tool here. And we want to first do a 1/2 inch, score at a 1/2 inch, right? Is that what I'm doing? I had to write my measurements down so I wouldn't forget. So let's score at 1/2 inch. And this is actually going to end up being cut off. But we just want to score at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to score at 5 1/4 inches. Right here. And then we're going to score at 10 inches. Just going to kind of cut that off, but that's okay. And then we're going to score at 10 1/8 inch. So I should have actually turned this upside down, but that's okay. This This is going to turn out a little different than I thought, just the way I scored it, but that's okay. If you wanted this to be the front, then we should have scored it this way, but that's okay. Doesn't matter at all. It's still going to be super cute. All right, so then what we need to do is bring in our trimmer, and we're going to cut that first 1/2 inch that we scored. We're going to cut that off. It's going to give us a fun little scrap. So 1/2 inch. Like that. And that leaves us just a fun little scrap. I'm just going to put that in my scrap bin. And actually I want to bring in my next piece. And this piece we are going to cut at 5 inches to make the pocket. So 5 inches, and then another 5 inches. Like this. And then we have these pieces. So these are going to form our pockets. Now what I want to do is I want to bring in my scoreboard again. Actually, I'll bring in my little one this time. I don't need the big guy. And on these pockets, I want to score. So I just want to see which I want where. So yes, on this one, we're going to score so that we have a little fold on this side just to create our pocket a little bit better, make it open up. That way it's kind of like a full-size pocket. And we're going to score this at 4 3/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 4 1/2, 4 3/4 right here. We'll do the same thing on the other piece of paper, but I want the fold to be on the left-hand side, so I'm going to turn my paper this way. And there's 4 1/2, there's 4 3/4. Okay. Put this away. All right, so we're going to go ahead and fold this little bit over. Grab my bone folder. So we'll fold those little tabby bits over. Like this. And then we want to miter the corners. And that'll just make sure that the pocket lays nice and flat. Just cleans up the edge just a wee bit. Again, mitering the corners here, if I can see properly. And like so. Excellent. Okay, now what we want to do is create our thumb notches in our pockets. So I like to put mine together so that my thumb notches are in the exact same spot on both pockets. You can use whatever circle punch, oval punch, whatever you have. You can even use a square one. And we'll go ahead and put in a little bit of a thumb notch. Somewhat centered. Like that. Okay, and then I'm going to have to figure out which side we need the thumb notch on for this, but we'll hold on doing that for now. We'll just set that out of the way. Okay, so now we've got our it's going to be upside down. So we're going to have this opening the other way. So this one I have opening this way. This one we're going to have opening the other way. And we'll score on our fold lines. This is always tricky when you have two score lines so close together. Just kind of work that in. Some people use a ruler. I could suppose do that, but I've made it this far already without it, so go ahead and, so that just kind of gives us a little bit of a gusset there. Can you see that? And then we're going to fold this back over this way. So it didn't turn out the way I had imagined with the butterflies, but that's okay, not a big deal. I still like this and it's still going to work well. I do want to round these corners because I just like the look of it a little bit better. So I'm going to use my large rounder punch for that. There we go. So we could do a couple different closures on this. We could do the Velcro like I did on here. I just have a little clear piece of Velcro and it just holds that so nicely. Or we can do a button policy envelope enclosure, if you know what I mean by that. I think I'm just going to stick with the Velcro just because I don't want to cut into another piece of paper because we're using the full sheet of 12 by 12. So you can also use scraps as well, I guess, but I kind of want everything to match quite nicely. All right, so for this guy, we could, you know what, maybe what I'll do is I won't have a pocket on this side. Maybe I'll change it up that way. I won't do a pocket on this side. Maybe I could do like a little, I was gonna say notepad, but that won't work. No, it will, because if I do the policy envelope. Okay, so I'm going to show you a variation of this one, okay? So this one we have a little side pocket. This one I'm actually going to do the button enclosure. And for that, I do need one of my circle punches, which I have quite a few of them. Sometimes you just need different sizes. So, how big do we want it? Let's do, just trying to find interest on here. Let's do 2 of these big ones. There's 1. And there's 2. So I like those. That's going to look quite nice. But then I also want a smaller one with some text, just to give, again, a little bit more interest. And let's do that there. Okay. Now we have a nice little scrap to play with. And I'm going to ink these guys up. Let's make some room. Let's quickly ink around these. And ink around this one. And last little circle. There we go. There is that. So I want to put my policy closures on first because I want to use a brad. Okay, so let me find my brads. And I think they are in here. See if I have some smaller ones that might work. Try and get them the same color. Maybe if I just scoop a whole bunch out onto my hand, I can find some that are the same color. Those look the same, so let's go with that. All right. Now, are they the same? They look the same, so hopefully they're the same. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is I'm just going to use my glue stick and glue these centers on, just so they don't move around on me. Makes it a little bit easier. Actually, let's use, I'm trying to use up the last of this old art glitter glue bottle. So we'll stick this on. Like that. That looks somewhat centered to me. There's one. And we'll do our second one. So this is pretty quick to knock out, actually. It doesn't take too long. Let's put that back up in there. And stick that in there. Okay, there we go. We got our two little buttons. Now, what do we want to do? I do want to quickly just kind of ink up before I get going here, just so I don't forget to do it later after I glue my pockets on. Doesn't need much, just a little something something. Can't believe I'm actually using my Tim Holtz papers. I've been hoarding them for so long, you guys, but it feels so good to be able to use them. Get rid of some of the stuff I've been curating in my studio here. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I can ink up the outside a little bit later. Just wanted to make sure I got that done. All right, now we need to figure out where we want this sky. Kind of like that there. And you will put about there, I guess. I kind of want it straight-ish. So let's line it up on our glass mat and come down a bit here. And a bit here. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to cheat again. And I'm going to use the tiniest drop of glue just to hold it, like right in the center, right where my brad's going to go. Just so it holds it in place while I flip the piece over to put the brad in. Right in the middle. Like, oops, that. Okay, that's done. Now we'll open this up and I should have somewhere a little mat that I can use my poke tool in, and I do. I love it when I put things away and remember that I've put them away. Okay, so this thing is pretty grungy and seen better days, but it will serve its purpose for today. Now I need my poke tool. Just a matter of which cup that is in. So I sorted my stuff out and I took everything out of my cups. And when I use a tool, I put it in a different cup so I know that I use that tool and how often I use that tool. And then I can decide which ones I need close at hand and which ones can go just a little bit further away. And then it also lets me know which tools, there we go, I use more often. Okay. So somewhat in the center should be about here. I think. Hold my breath. And we'll poke that in. And then we'll poke on this side. Let's line it up on our mat just a bit so we can kind of get it even. There we go. And now we'll put our little brads in. And they are so tiny that they are just, woo! Don't lose it. Where did you go? Where did you go, you little turkey? There you are, right on my chair. Ooh, that was close. Just about lost that one. Okay. Very carefully push that in. And then we will fan out Brad's legs. Come on, Brad. Spread them. Like this. Yeah, I think what I'll do is to cover that, I'll do like a little notepad in there. I think that would be cute. Little notepad? Yeah. All right. Now I'm just coming up with a whole bunch of different variation ideas, but that's the really cool thing about these, is you can make it as simple or as complex as you like. No two projects have to be the exact same. In fact, it's better if it isn't, in my mind. And what did I do with you, little Brad? You're so tiny. There you are. There. Okay, so now for this one, I am mindful that this is in a pocket. So I want to grab a piece of washi tape or tape and just tape over that so that when I am sliding something in the pocket, it doesn't get stuck on that. So you don't have to use special washi tape or anything. It can be, oh, I've got get my cords all wrapped around myself again here. Doesn't have to be special washi tape. Just whatever works. Sorry, I'm untangling my microphone cord from everything here. Okay, washi, where are you? Let's use, I kind of want a little bit of a bigger piece, just to make sure I have good coverage over that. And this one will serve the purpose just fine. I have all these gorgeous washi tapes that I need to use more. And scissors. And because I have trust issues with washi tape, we're going to put some glue on the back. Come on. There we go. And then I can rest easy knowing that that is not going to come off. inside my pocket. That to the side. There we go. And that'll just hold those little legs down and nothing will get caught on it. Perfect. Okay, so we've done that. We've got our enclosure done. And we'll put the string on later. Right now we want to go ahead and ink up our pockets if you like to ink. Don't have to again. And if you're using more decorative papers like this than I did on my first one I used plainer papers on the inside and then decorated up. You don't have to decorate the pockets on the inside if you don't want to. So as you can see in here, I made extra little pockets and tuck spots. You don't have to do that. You can just have these two big pockets in there. Take it wherever you want it. You do what you like to do. I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to go with this one, but we're just going to get the pocket made and then we'll figure out if we're going to decorate it together later or if I'll just show you at the end what I've done with it. So I like to have these folds. You can see these little fold bits here. I like to have these in the crease. Can you see that? I like to have those instead of having them on the edge. I like to have them inside. And it may mean that you might have to trim a squidge off the edge here because it'll be sticking out, but that's not a problem. We can totally do that. Just make sure we line everything up. Yeah, I like how that's going to look. So I am going to glue my pocket down. Well, let's finish inking actually. Glue my pockets down and then trim them off. You can trim off an 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch, whatever you need to trim off to make yours fit before you glue down. I'm going to do mine after, just so I get a flush cut. Got no overhanging anywhere. Okay. Let's go ahead and put this one down. And I want it on the right-hand side of that fold. I don't want to impede on that fold line at all, okay? I feel like I'm kind of off center here, so let me just readjust myself. There we go. And we'll use our art glitter glue. I don't know if I would trust glue stick to glue this down. One is you're going to have lose a lot of real estate inside your pocket if you use a glue stick, and two, I just don't know if because using it as a pocket you're going to be in and out of it quite a bit. I just wouldn't trust glue sticks, so use a heavier liquid glue. And I just stuck my finger in that. That was not smart. Okay. So again, just on the right-hand side of that fold line, so we're not impeding on it. And glue that down. I've got a little bit of glue on my glass mat here. We'll just clean that up before something disastrous happens and I glue something wrong. Something that I don't want to glue. And same thing with this one. I'll just have to fold this backwards when it comes time to trim that. Line it up. And this one's going to be to the left of the fold line. Same concept as the first pocket. This time I'll try not to stick my finger in it. Of course, the closer you get to the edge with your glue, the more real estate you're going to have inside your pocket. It just needs ever so tiny, tiny trimming there. And then it folds nicely here. So I have it. For some reason, I am a smidgen over the top here. We'll trim that down as well. On both of them. Ah. But it lines up nicely on the bottom, so it must have just been a hair out when I was cutting. So let's go ahead and fix that now. I mean, you could leave it. Obviously, it's not that noticeable, but I just want to make sure that it's perfect. Because that's what I want. I want a perfect little pocket. It doesn't have to be a junk journal, doesn't have to be perfect, but making sure I'm cutting the right thing here. Just a little smidgen. Like at this point, it's not noticeable unless you're like staring right up close like I am right now. There we go. Perfect. I think my fold was just a bit off. Maybe that's why. That's good. And just a little bit here. Sorry, I know this is kind of fiddly, but it just makes me feel better about things. And it's all about me. All about me right now. Okay. There. Put our pin back in our glue. All right, so that is like really the basis of the little folio. And I do want to cut this off. So from here, you can add pockets however you like. And just trim this a wee smidgen. Like so. If you do not have yourself a long blade pair of scissors, I highly recommend. It makes cutting straight lines that much easier. Make sure they're stainless steel. These ones are haute couture. I really went big when I bought these from the dollar store. Yep, you heard that right. I got these from the dollar store many moons ago. And I spent a whole $4 on them, and they work fantastic. So don't discount dollar store scissors. They're actually really great. Okay. And we'll just camouflage anything that I missed with a little bit of ink. And Bob's your uncle. Actually, who's my father-in-law. But okay, so super. We've got that. Now, what do we want to do in here? That's a good question. I have some pre-cut ephemera bits that might work on this for the journal I was thinking of. I kind of want to do like a nature notes journal. What are these? Yeah, I think these are from Nature Notes from... Oh my goodness, I don't really remember. I'll try and link it down below though. There's Nature Notes, and then there is, there's another one. Sorry, let me see if I can look it up quickly here while it's on my brain. Come on. I don't know where my little window is. Don't you hate that? Sense. New Finder window. Let's do that. Will that pop up? There we go. Okay, so paper, Etsy Paper Craftivity. Yeah, Paper Craftivity. This is the nature notes, I think is what it's called. Paper Craftivity. Yeah, Nature's Notebook. And that was, I got that on Etsy like eons ago, that I'm finally using now. Have them all cut up, so we could use some of these. This as well, I think, is part of that Nature Notes kit. And we've got a little notebook there, so lots of little ephemera here. Let's see, what do we want to do? This is a little envelope. I don't think we need that. We want something to create a little pocket. Do that, or I think there are actual pockets in here. Look at this. We could do that. And I think we have ones going the other way as well. Oh, that is cute. Oh, I like that. Let's do that. Yay! And then we have all these little pieces in here that we can put in, these tags. We could actually put those tags in there instead of doing journal cards. We'll see what we feel like. Yeah. Okay, we have some smaller tags that we can play with. Oh yes, this is going to be just perfect. Okay. Put that back in here. And do I want to, I think I want to back these onto some cardstock just to give it a little bit more weight. Now you don't have to, but again, it's just kind of peace of mind, and I have lots of scrap. Is that gonna fit? You guys, it's absolutely perfect. Oh, I love it. Okay. So we will do that. Is this the same? This should be the same, ideally. Yes, okay, that works out great. So let's just put this aside so I don't glue anything on it that I don't want to. That will tuck back in my little baggie. Bring out our glue book. Oh, and maybe what I want to do is sew around these pockets to add a little bit of more interest to it. Yes, let's do that as well. Okay. So we'll glue stick this down. And hopefully you guys can see that. Sorry, I know I might be off camera. It's just the way I'm doing this. Get you to scooch up there. Wonderful. So there's that, and then this one I will glue this way, and then we'll cut them up, and then I might pop off, quickly sew around them. You guys know how to sew. You know what sewing looks like. I don't think I need to show you that aspect of it, so I can line that up. The nice thing about glue stick is you have that little bit more wiggle room time than you would with art glitter glue. Oh, don't fold on me like that. There, okay. And then we will cut these. Then I'll have a really fun triangle piece left over of this cardstock. Like that. And like that. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to ink up first and then sew. I just like to do it that way. I find it a little harder to ink after the thread's been on, so yeah, I'm glad I backed these. It'll give that pocket just a little bit more structure, and then I won't worry about it ripping. Because that's the last thing you want is, you know, putting things in and out of your pockets and then have your pocket rip. That would suck. Okay. Let's take a look at how that's going to be. Like that and like that. Yes, ma'am. I am liking that, right? Okay, I'm gonna quickly sew around these and then I will pop back on. Okay, so I have sewn around really messily around these pockets just to give it a little bit of, you know, more texture and a little more interest. And now we can go ahead and glue these bad boys down. Then we'll have to think of what we want to put in these pockets. Now there's some pre-cut ephemera pieces from that kit I think would work. So I don't think we'll have to create too much, but we'll see what we want to put in here. And we'll just line that up about here. Trying to make it straight. And then over here on this side, might need a clip of some sort just to hold that while it glues down. There we go. I think that'll be okay. And then on this one, again, kind of having it somewhat level and straight. Where's my ruler? There we go. Just kind of get it somewhat even. I have a bad habit of gluing things on all cattywampus and crooked, and so this will just help me make it look a little straighter. Even if it's not 100%, that's just fine. Right about there. Just give that a hold for a second. I really like the contrast of kind of like the darker background with the lighter pockets. I think that worked out well. And I'll just squidge that glue down underneath there. Make sure it's adhering. And I think that's long enough for that. And going over your stitching as well with a bone folder can sometimes help flatten it just a bit to give you that lower profile. Like that. That's not too bad. That will fit nicely in a journal. I'm going to add a little bit of bulk here, but that's okay because we're going to have the tie, and we have that little bit of a gusset going on here. That will give us that little bit more room. Okay. Next thing we want to do is our little notepad. And I have some scrap papers here. First things first, we need to measure. So we want our papers just to be 1.5 inches by, let's say 5.5. 1.5 by 5.5. Bring out my little trimmer here. No more than 5.5 and no wider than 1.5. So we can do this, 1.5 1.5. And these are just about the right width. But let's trim them down just a little bit more. So I should have 2 there. Yes. So just start kind of layering these up. This is kind of a nice piece, so we'll do 1.5 this way. Actually, this one I like the torn edge, so I'm going to use my tear ruler for that and the markings on my glass mat, because I just think it would look funny with one ripped edge and then one straight edge, right? And then 5.5, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. I'm not sure if I'm on camera for you guys or not, but okay, so we've got this. That's going to be too long. I want some ledger paper in there. And that will cut with this. Already got a rip there, so we'll kind of make use of that. I want these numbers. And 1.5 there. And we might as well do 1.5 again. Okay. I don't want too many papers, but I want enough to create like a little booklet. So if we have that, and this, and this, I kind of want, trying to figure out how I want these to be in here, because I think I want this on the front. They're so tiny, it's kind of tricky. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 is probably good. And I should have somewhere in here my little stapler. Not there. Not there. Where, oh where did my little stapler go? Actually, what we can do, I'm just going to create like a little fold over piece to keep those contained. Like that. Now I just need to find my stapler. Where would that have gone? It should be right here. Let's see. Did you make your way in here? Yes, you did. Just organized enough to confuse myself, right? Watch, and I'll put it back where I thought it should be in the first place, and then I'll go look for it in a different place next time. Okay. kind of put these somewhat in the center, somewhat irregular. I don't want them to be too perfect. Yeah, I think that looks good. And we'll put this little guy over top and then we'll staple him. Go. And you can make rusty staples as well. I've seen people do them. They seem to work quite well. But I haven't tried it myself. I'm worried about them getting all gummed up in my stapler, so I don't know. I'll have to get braver and do that. Okay. So let's just do a quick put away here of some things that are lying around my desk where they shouldn't be. And bring back our little folio. And then this, yes, I love that. I love that green. That is going to glue onto here. And it'll be just like a little notepad. I love it. Love it, I do. And we'll just glue it on the little fold over piece that we created. And then we can start tucking things in our pockets. There. Look at that. Oh, that's perfect. Opens up. Love it. Okay, now we need some things to stick into our pockets. I think we'll have some time to do that. Let's quickly take a look. I want that, but I want it on some sturdier card. Is this going to be, look at that, that's going to be perfect. Just a little trimming. What do I have here? Like that as well. Could I do all three of those? Will that fit? Will it? I think it will. Well, let's try gluing those down then. Seeing as how it appears to be fitting perfectly. Got this cheesecloth rolling around on my desk. I don't really remember the last time I used cheesecloth. It's been a bit. Okay, glue book. This away. Use our good old glue stick. And I may want to sew around these as well. But I'll do that after. You don't need to see that. Oops. Got a few things tucked up on my shelf there that were coming down. And then we'll glue this one down. This book page is so nice and sturdy. Like, it's a nice thick book page. It's not brittle like some of that old book page. It almost reminds me of rag paper, how thick it is. Okay. Try and get these close together so that I have enough room for this guy to get glued down. Slide him over just a titch. There we go. And this one should, yes, fit on there, which is beautiful. So I hope you like this little folio. It's something that is low profile enough to put in a journal, or you can obviously stand on its own if you want. And you can decorate it many different ways to suit whatever journal you are working on. So that is also a win. Before we go, I need to finish off our button enclosure as well. Not sure what I got going on here. I got windows popping up on my computer. Okay. There's that. And I think I want to round these corners as well. I don't know what it is. I just don't like sharp corners lately. Do I round it, or maybe I'll just take off the little sharp corners ever so slightly. Yeah, that looks better. And you don't have to have fancy tools either, really, to do this. What did I use? My scissors and my scoreboard. My paper. I mean, you don't have to have a paper trimmer. You don't really have to have a scoreboard. You can measure and fold too. I'm just not that straight. I need these tools to help me get things looking a little more appealing, so that it doesn't look like a 5-year-old created it, because that can happen. All right. And then we'll nip the corners of these as well. And we don't have to worry about them getting bent. There's that one. Like that. Like that and that. Okay, so now we are ready for inking, and those can go in our pockets. And they are like little cute journal cards to write on. Again, you don't have to ink if you don't want to, but I like to. I think you're either an inker or you're not. I definitely am. I just think it frames out whatever I'm doing. Makes it look a little more appealing in my mind. But you do what makes you happy. Okay. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to use my bone folder and just open up these pockets a little bit. As long as you're not ramming your bone folder in there too rough, it should be fine just to kind of open that up a bit. I like to do this on all my pockets usually. Just helps to make things slide easier in and out of them. There we go. Yeah, that's better. So you can have that one there. Maybe have this one's got the dragonfly wings, so maybe we'll put that guy in there. Do that. We have tags. Do we have time to do a tag? No, let's go ahead and do our enclosure. I'm going to add some tags and then some more journal cards here. But let's get the closure done. And for that you can use embroidery thread, waxed linen. I am going to use some cording. That should be plenty. Let's measure out about, that's going to be more than enough. Let's do 10 inches. I think about 10 inches will be good. And then I want to do a slip knot. Easier said than done. Come on. There we go. Okay, and the reason why I do a slip knot is it's a lot easier to get the slip knot around our button here than to try and tie a knot around it. And it'll stay secure, it won't come undone. Oh, did I make that too far away? Let's try that again. Have to get it just at the right junction here, so you're not having too much of a tail hanging out, but you have enough to... Is that going to work? Do I have it the right way? No, I don't. Oh, silly girl. Okay, let's try this again. Do it this way, like this. This is fiddly work, you guys. It's just a slip knot. It's not rocket science. There we go. Okay, pull that around like so. Get a nice little pull. Fold that. And we want to just lift this up a bit. So I take my tweezers and just kind of run it underneath just to give it a bit of volume. You could put a little spacer underneath if you want, but this just works for me. Like this. There. And I think I will cut this. Let's use our smaller scissors. Just cut that right underneath there. Kind of hide the end a bit. And then, if I can get it to go underneath, there we go. Voila! We have our cute little folio. So just do a little recap here of the two different types of folios. Again, you can really adjust this for however you want in terms of decorating. But this one was done with a Velcro piece, just a little Velcro dot. Then we have some extra pockets here. Then we have some journaling cards in the back. Okay, and this is with the single-sided paper. And then using the double-sided paper and a policy envelope enclosure, we have this guy. Like this. Open it up. We've got our little cute pad of paper here. Open this up. We've got our pockets, and I'll add some more tags and journaling cards, add some more journaling cards back here, but that is pretty much it, you guys. Nice and simple. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Have a great day, and remember, P.S. I love you.